All sorts of bizarre and unbelievable things happen in the world, and thanks to our smartphones we can now capture these incidents and preserve them forever. Also, because of the internet, nowadays it doesn't matter where a strange thing is witnessed, because through social media anyone can see it for themselves even if they live thousands of miles away. Here's some recent camera captures that just cannot go unnoticed. Before we begin, do take a moment to give this video a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Eyeless Fish. The oceans are a unique habitat spewing out unusual creatures for humans to marvel at. This time a fish without eyes was caught in Malaysian waters. This kind of fish is called eel goby, and it actually does possess eyes. They're just extremely small and barely functional in the young ones. The adult fish are practically blind and they navigate using their noses to smell and ambush prey like octopus or other types of smaller fish. Gobies mostly prefer a muddy habitat and therefore are considered bottom dwellers. Their bodies lack scales and are therefore quite slippery, so it's not easy to capture one. Finger monkey. Most people love miniature things and animals, but have you ever seen miniature monkeys? These little ones are called finger monkeys because of their oddly small size and because they're actually the size of a human finger. This species mostly inhabits the rainforests of Southern America. They are incredibly expensive pets, and a single finger monkey costs around $4,000. But the cost doesn't seem a lot when you look at these adorable animals jumping around the house. Fishy Rain. Believe it or not, it actually rains fish in Utah, though it's not a natural rain, unfortunately. This is an artificial method that employs a jet. The livestock division of Utah is restocking the local lakes. They use flying jets to replenish the lakes with life, as it is not possible to reach the elevated lakes any other way. Around 14,000 fish are loaded in a jet and then showered into the lakes one by one, and this is what gives the impression of raining fish. Woody insect. This may look like a stick hanging upside down, but in reality it's a real live insect. This weird stick-like creature is called the fast motidia. It's mostly found in Southeast Asia and Southern Americas. It's obviously not easy to find one as their bodies are well camouflaged. You won't be able to spot one on the ground and in trees particularly. These insects also tend to mimic the movements of leaves and can also pretend to be dead in order to escape predators. Asteroid Crash. While everyone waits for alien ships to appear in the sky, they forget that an actual entity might fall out from the sky and hit them. In February 2022, an asteroid was filmed flying at a speed of 12 miles per second. It struck the blanket of air surrounding Earth and exploded over a city in Russia. The explosion carried 20 to 30 times more energy than the Hiroshima atomic bomb and shook the local community. Dancing on whale. This incredibly foolish man decided to jump on top of a humpback whale and began dancing on it. If that wasn't enough, his friend also jumped on the whale and joined him in the dance routine. It could be very dangerous if the whale decides to roll over and crush you with its weight. There's no reason to put your safety at risk just to film a silly video. Salmon crossing. A highway near the Skokomish River is mostly calm year-round, but during November it sees a unique kind of traffic. During this month, the highway gets flooded with hundreds and thousands of salmon that cross the road. The salmon live in the Skokomish River and travel to the creeks to spawn or have babies. These creeks end up underwater because of the heavy rains during the season, and with the water, these salmon are seen crossing the highway to reach the other end of the creek in order to avoid being stranded here. Mysterious car. This rider was travelling on his motorbike in an English town when he reached an intersection. Here he noticed a red car driving over it at an oddly slow speed. He followed the car in order to find out if something was wrong, except when he reached it, the car was nowhere to be found. It just vanished into thin air within a fraction of a second. He tried locating it using his dashcam, but to his surprise, no car was captured in the footage. He was pretty creeped out by this and decided to ask the internet users what they think happened to the red car. Face tree. Imagine seeing this terrifying face staring down at you from a tree during the night time. Anyone in a vehicle would definitely hit the gas and drive away as fast as possible. This viral video of a face forming in the tree divided the internet. Many claimed that it was fake, while there were some who thought it could be real. Maybe a tree ghost or a spirit trying to interact with people? What do you think? Vampire doll. This creepy vampire doll sits in a Brazilian graveyard, and somehow its terrifying gaze seems to follow you around, despite the fact that this doll is inanimate. These vampire babies are actually an artistic masterpiece designed by Julia Lane. She made these specifically to scare people out. How she managed to make their eyes move is beyond us, but one thing is for sure, if we saw one of these in a graveyard, we're not going back there, ever. Zombie fish. The man who filmed this video captured a dead fish and somehow brought it back to life. The fish had dried out due to lack of water and looked dead. However, when he poured water into its mouth, the fish came back to life and began moving. It's not a miracle though. This fish is a pleco, and the species can survive in a drought-stricken area without water for more than 20 hours at a time. Fire tree. This tree burning in the Californian jungle looks nothing less than a portal to hell. This was filmed days after the wildfire had been contained. A man found this tree in the middle of the forest, only it was burning from the inside. Its trunk had small holes through which the fire could be seen, but somehow the outer layer of the tree was intact. This kind of internal burning of a tree is also sometimes seen in trees that get struck by lightning. The inside tends to burn because the inside layer of a tree is normally moist and can catch fire more quickly. Strange light. It could be a meteor, it could be space debris, or maybe a UFO, but so far no one can say for sure what it is. But this giant fireball flying in the night sky definitely surprised the local residents who noticed it floating up high in the Arizona sky on the 4th of July. According to witnesses, they actually saw 2 floating lights, but one of them disappeared before they could film it. The second light also disappeared after a few seconds. Crab house. Humans might be constructing luxurious apartment buildings and houses nowadays, but animals tend to stick to humble nests. Here's a video showing a sand bubbler crab building its house in the sand. The species created a dome house to protect itself from the high tides. Once the house is complete, the crab shelters itself under the sand bubbles and waits for the tide to recede. They emerge afterwards and consume the sand they later discard in the form of tiny balls. Clingy octopus. This diver was returning back to land when he realized that a very persistent octopus was clinging onto his back. He tried to get it off him, but the animal wasn't interested in letting go. Inside the water, he was unable to set himself free, so he decided to come outside with the octopus still latching onto him. He tried pulling it and stretching its tentacles, however, it didn't work. As the video ends here, we'll never know for sure how he got rid of it. Volcano erupting near ocean. A ride in a boat is rarely ever eventful, but this volcano definitely surprised the person filming this video. The smoke rising above from the Mount Tavaroa was captured following the tourist boat that came to visit the island. Their tour was obviously cut short by the explosion. Mount Tavaroa is located in the island of Papua New Guinea that lies in the Pacific Ring of Fire. It's also home to multiple active volcanic mountains, so most people living in the region keep their bags packed as they might have to run for their lives at any moment. Smoke rings. This strange black ring of smoke was seen floating in the sky in the Philippines. The residents were shocked to see it. They had no idea how it formed or where it came from, but they definitely didn't want it to stay. When the video of this ring went viral, people from other places shared videos of similar rings that were seen in their area. Some experts thought it could have formed because of a combustion explosion nearby, but if that's the case, why were there so many smoke rings in different places? Kestrel hover. Kestrel birds are unique birds with the ability to hover in the air for long periods. These birds are unable to flap their wings against the wind like most other hummingbirds. The kestrel birds manage to fly by keeping their heads still and moving forward with the same speed as that of wind coming at them. This produces the illusion of them hovering in the sky, but in reality they are moving forward. Caught in avalanche. This man narrowly escaped a powerful disaster that could have taken his life. An avalanche or snowslide that occurs when a layer of snow starts sliding downhill after collapsing. Avalanches are incredibly fast and anything that gets in their way ends up buried under heaps of snow. But this lucky skier managed to survive despite being caught in the middle of it. Flame falls. Flame Falls is an extraordinary waterfall measuring 35 feet in length. There's an 8-inch high flame burning in a small grotto inside it. It's legendary and thousands of years old, and because of this flame, the waterfall is called Eternal Flame Fall. Experts think the fire might be burning because of the extremely hot shale bedrocks that produce gas pockets, but recent research has disproved this theory, so no one knows for sure what the reason is behind this everlasting flame. Driving through hell. This man filmed the nerve-wracking scene of himself driving through a wildfire in Paradise, California. It looks nothing like a road from hell. Californian land had always been a victim of wildfires, and the extensive droughts and global warming has only increased the chances of raging fires. Thankfully, everyone made it out safely from the fires. Tiger attack. Sundarban tiger reserves of Bengal are the most highly populated forests. The community here is keen to keep the tiger population safe, but the locals are also at risk as almost every day tigers break the fence separating the forest from the river. These tigers attack villagers, and it's not easy to escape these fast and agile felines. This video shows a tiger attacking fishermen who were in a boat. They managed to scare off the predator using sticks and saved their lives. Snow in sea. This looks like a scene from a snow globe, but it actually happened in the Pacific Ocean near Alaska. This happens almost every day in some parts of the sea. The event is called marine snow, and no, it's not actual snow. In fact, organic matter that looks like snow from the upper waters falls into the deeper parts of the oceans. Marine snow is a nutrient-rich matter that feeds numerous marine animals living at the bottom of the ocean. End of rainbow. Unlike fairy tales, rainbows in the real world don't end in pots of gold. This man filmed the very end of a rainbow while traveling to Mariposa, California in his car. He noticed the rainbow coming to its end in the middle of the road. Although rainbows are just reflections and can't actually have ends or beginnings, it is fascinating to see the man literally pass through it. Housewalk. This bizarre scene was captured by the camera. A man can be seen walking on the roadside with a miniature house on his head. And that's not all. The houses seemingly had a disco inside it because for 1 second a flame rushed out the chimney and disappeared. The fire kept coming again and again. The man seemed unfazed and kept walking normally. No one knows why he was wearing a house producing a fire, but it sure was an unsettling sight. Longest elevator. This elevator is named Bailon Elevator, and it is the longest glass elevator in the world. It holds the record for being the highest elevator on Earth. It's built on the side of a cliff in Zhangjiajie. It has 3 double-decker lifts capable of transporting 46 people each. The elevator is 326 meters tall and has become a tourist hotspot because of the magnificent scenery one can enjoy while traveling in it. Around 60 million people have visited this elevator in the last 20 years. Scary cat. Anyone in their right mind would rather run the other way if they saw an alligator. Well, not this extraordinarily brave cat that actually went closer to it and scared the alligator. The poor reptile got terrified by the menacing feline and ran back into the water. This seems like a glitch in the Matrix. This other alligator was also trying to enjoy its lunch when a house cat scared it back into the water with just one paw. Terrifying creatures. A joy ride in the boat became a very scary encounter with freakish and terrifying creatures. They looked like deformed monkeys and were sitting outside a cave. There were 4 to 5 of them and didn't seem bothered by the humans passing by. Later it was found that the animals were actually actors dressed in costumes and were working for a local Thai company. Bats migrating. Almost 10 million fruit bats tend to migrate annually between the months of October to December. They leave their nests and converge at the Casaconca National Forest. These bats mostly consume fruit and fly to their homes to forage. This is because fruits of local trees are ripe in the forest. This unique flight is visible only for 20 minutes, but it is one of the most magnificent wildlife spectacles of Africa. That was all about the mind-boggling recent camera captures. Tell us in the comments which one you liked the most. We'll see you again next time.